Hey, psst. Pull up. We got news. What up, internet? It's Tega, and welcome to the second episode of the Loadout Zone. The first episode covered the beginning of the month, so this is going to wrap up January, and we're going to stick to most of the main headlines. We won't go into too much detail because there is a lot to cover. So if I forget anything or you want to talk about it a little bit more, let's talk about it down in the comments below. And yeah, let's not spend too much time on the intro. Let's get straight to it. One of the first things I wanted to talk about was the Bethesda showcase. It aired January 25th, and we got updates to games like ESO, Forza Motorsport, and Redfall, and things of that nature. So starting off with Elder Scrolls, we have a two-part DLC on the way. The first part being Scribes of Fate, which starts March 13th on PC and March 28th on Xbox and PlayStation. The second part is Necrom, and that's going to start in the summer for June 5th on PC and June 20th for the consoles, adding about 30 more hours of new story content for you to play. So it's going to be set in two new zones along Eastern Morrowind. You're going to have two more companions, and you're going to have a new playable class called the Arcanist. So if you're on ESO, time to prep up for March. We got a more in-depth look at Forza Motorsport. It's a bunch of quality of life upgrades and numbers. So I'll throw up a picture so you can look at a couple bullet points if you would like to. But the main things that stuck out to me was there are 500 cars at launch, 100 that's new to the series, more car upgrades, 20 race sites, and things of that nature. Forza doesn't have a concrete release date just yet, but if you want to know more about it, we may have to just wait a few months to see if it's going to come out this year or not. I've always been a fan of the Horizon series more, so I probably will skip this one unless I see something that really sticks out that I want to play. I've been itching for a good racing game for a long time now. I played Need for Speed Unbound. It didn't really keep my attention that long, so hopefully this hits a spot for me. Disney Dreamlight Valley got a roadmap update up until the summer, so they're promising things like more characters, a new realm, clothing, decorations, furniture, and a multiplayer mode. Keep in mind that it's still in early access, so that's why they do have a roadmap. You can play it for free on Game Pass, and they have different founders editions and things like that you can buy if you want to put money into the game. I probably won't go that far until we get like a full release or anything like that, but I am keeping my eye on it. So yeah, definitely check that out. We also got 11 minutes of gameplay with Redfall, and they went over the specifics like the abilities, the skills, the customizable vampire stakes that you can attach to your guns. And if you didn't know, it's officially launching May 2nd of 2023. It's going to be on Game Pass, Steam, and the Epic Store. Some pages says May 1st, and I'm guessing that's a time zone difference type of thing. We didn't get any mention of it being available early, but just know that the official date is May 2nd. We didn't get any Starfield news this time around, but they did promise of a separate live stream to talk about the game specifically, and that could be a good or bad thing. Me personally, I don't need to see much more about Starfield. Hopefully they just tidy up the gameplay, so if they do plan on showing more, it's tight and concise. But the only thing I really want to know about is just more lore about the world that we're going to be in and a hard release date. It's still slated for first half of 2023, so yeah, let's just drop the game already. There's so much hype surrounding this game. I just want to get my hands on it and form my own opinion. Moving over to Ubisoft news, and we're gonna have to cue the sad music. But Skull and Bones got delayed again, man. So if you know anything about Skull and Bones, you know this game has been in development hell. It's been delayed at least 3 or 4 times, and we were expecting it March 9th, and now it's expected to come sometime after April 1st, but there was no hardcore time zone that it was going to land in, so it can be up in the air for all we know. Man, I don't know what's going on over at Ubisoft, but it's just another game getting delayed or canceled, and I don't know, man. I think the hype is probably officially dead for this one. So I mean, if you have some type of hope for this game, let me know in the comments. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think this ship has sailed. And with more sad news, Ubisoft canceled 3 more unannounced games, not including the games that we already know about, like Ghost Recon Frontline or the Splinter Cell VR game. So I don't know what's going on over there either, but I do like that they canceled games that we don't know about, because I kind of find it hard to care about games that I didn't know about, or something that already had a release date or at least a title. So it's a good thing that they canceled it early so it doesn't hurt us as bad, but it's just not good news. So I mean, I don't know if they restructuring, going through new management, whatever the case may be, but let's just hope that we get more titles out of Ubisoft instead of Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, you know, all the usual stuff. Let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it going. But it's not all bad. I do have one piece of good news from Ubisoft, and it's about Assassin's Creed Mirage. From the details we know, this game is going to be way more compact and denser, so smaller map. They stated that the big games are getting tiresome, so I'm glad that now they're feeling the fatigue, because Valhalla, I don't know if I'm ever going to finish that game. I keep playing it on my downtime when I'm beating more of the recent releases, but it's a drag, man. I'm just running around doing side quests, not knowing where I'm going, and then another map opens up and it's just as big as the first map. So it's going to be good going back to the basics with AC Mirage. It's going to be more like the original Assassin's Creed games, so hopefully if this blows up, we're going to get more games like it instead of the big crazy RPG games. Don't get me wrong, they can execute them well, like Origin and Odyssey. I did love those games very much, but Valhalla just didn't do it for me. So I do like the new formula, but it's better if we have a mixture of the two genres. Moving on from Ubisoft news, it's time to talk about the Google Stadia, which is more sad news. So I'm sorry I'm hitting y'all back to back, but all months can't be great. So if you've been living under a rock, Google Stadia was officially shut down January 18th, and the final firmware update lets you use the controller as a standard Bluetooth device. So if you decide to upgrade to this firmware, it's going to disable the Wi-Fi capabilities, the headphones will no longer work if you plug them in, and you have until the end of the year to update the controller. And if you don't, it's completely obsolete. I don't know why they put a deadline on a firmware update, but you have until the end of 2023. So if you want to repurpose it for something more useful, go ahead and update that and officially put your flags up for Google Stadia. You had a good run. Did you? I don't know. I'm trying to make this a good send off. But yeah, if you haven't known or you haven't plugged in your Google Stadia, it's been collecting dust. Just know when you plug it in, it's no longer going to work. So RIP Google. Let's not send Google Stadia off on a bad note. I'll leave you with, one good story that came out of this. So there's a streamer named Color. He synced over 6,000 hours into Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Google Stadia, and when Rockstar saw this, it prompted them to implement a transfer data feature so that way all his progress won't be lost once the Stadia goes down. They also sent him a goodbye package full of like merch of shirts, 3D puzzles, mouse pads, mugs, candles, you name it. So some companies did care about what was going on over there on that platform. It is unfortunate that people who put money into the Google Stadia is practically losing that. So hopefully they did implement some type of return policy or anything like that so you can get your money back. But for the players who sink thousands and thousands of hours into some of these games, has potentially lost that progress. Hopefully more companies did implement transfer data features before it shut down, but I just wanted to give it a positive note before it leaves. So, always gotta look on the optimistic side. But again, RIP Google Stadia, you will not be missed. Let's get into some more spicy news, and this is coming from a game that I am looking forward to, which is Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. They got into a bit of hot water lately because a menu had leaked and it has a battle pass tab. Oh my god, bro. On a fully priced game, we still got to deal with battle pass, bro. I'm done. So whether we like it or not, monetization takes over once again. A lot of people argue that battle passes aren't really necessary, or you don't have to buy it to have fun and enjoy the game, but it really just depends on if things are cosmetics, are you going to be getting boosts for certain levels and things of that nature. Monetization talk is always a big deal, especially when games are fully priced. So I don't know if this backlash is going to make them take away a battle pass. I highly doubt it if it's already implemented, but yeah, I mean, it's there. So if you haven't heard, there it is. It did take away some of the hype for me, honestly. I don't care about battle pass. I don't want to see a battle pass tab or anything like that, but hey, if the game is good or if it has a great story attached to it, I may play it and drop it after that. But some of these companies just try to find more ways to get more money for these video games after you beat the story. So I don't know. And until we get more details, it's all just speculation. So everything is still subject to change. The game isn't out yet, so hopefully there's some type of good resolution out of this. Got some quick news about Returnal. So if you're looking forward to playing that on PC, it drops February 15th, and there was a little bit of controversy a while back about the recommended specs. So apparently the recommended RAM used to be 32 gigs, and if you know anything about PC gaming, that's a little bit intense for the average PC player, especially for a recommended spec. A lot of people aim for 32 gigs just for safety, but most games recommend about 16 gigs and 8 gigs at the very lowest as a requirement. So with that game being 32 gig, that caused a little bit of a stare, and I'm happy to announce that it's back to 16. So no need to worry if you want to play Returnal on PC, the recommended specs is 16. So I don't know if they tweaked anything on their end, but you know, that they had a spook for a little bit. I don't know if we're that far in the future yet. I still got 16 gigs myself, so I'm planning on upgrading to about 32, but I'm not there yet. Another quick update, and this time for the Callisto Protocol. If you've been playing that, there's a recent patch that added new game plus mode, so now you can carry all of your progress over into a brand new game. And they also patched the glitch to where you take damage from vaulting, so now you get that extra invisibility frame, and it gives you a little bit of time away from those monsters. It's a very slow animation, so the fact that you were taking damage while in that state is kind of harsh. So hopefully that's patched up and you already noticed it if you're still playing that game, but have fun. And for the last bit of PlayStation news, if you're looking for a controller similar to the Xbox Elite series, PlayStation now has a competitor. It's called the DualSense Edge, and it retails for about $200. It released January 26th, and PlayStation recently came out with a firmware update that supports the controller, and it pretty much have the exact same features as an Xbox controller. It has the remappable buttons, the swappable analog sticks, the back macro keys, so you can program any controls that you want. So if you're looking for that, but on the PlayStation side of things, it's now available. I want to talk about a couple Marvel games, the first being Midnight Suns. So if you have the game or you're thinking about getting into it, the Deadpool DLC just released. It's called The Good, The Bad, and The Undead. It released on January 26th, and it's one of the first of 4 planned DLC. So in the future, we're going to see characters like Venom, Storm, and Morbius. So I just wanted to make you aware if you were looking forward to that. And let's talk about the bad Marvel games. So Marvel Avengers. So if you haven't heard, the final update is going to come March 31st. That's update 2.8. But no more big expansions or anything like that is coming out because the support for the game is getting shut down September 30th. So more sad music. The single player and the multiplayer modes will still be playable, but I think the game is getting delisted after the support is shutting down, so that way no one can, you know, buy into it looking forward to a game that's completely shut down. But if you do still have it and plan on enjoying it, if you like the single player, enjoy that. But after September, there's no more support for it. So sad music. Before I get to the last segment, I wanted to share a little bit of Microsoft news with you. It's not related to gaming in particular, but it is PC nonetheless. So if you're watching this video, day 1, January 31st, this is the last day that you can officially buy the Windows 10 online license from the Microsoft Store. Doesn't mean that you can't find it at third-party retailers and things of that nature. It's just that after January, Microsoft is officially ending the sale of Windows 10. They're still going to support it for up to maybe a few years, I think October of 2025, so you don't have to worry about it in that aspect. You just can't buy it from their store anymore. I know a lot of PC gamers are hesitant on upgrading. I know that there have been graphical errors or just compatibility issues when it comes to recording software like OBS and things like that. So if you didn't know, you will have to search for Windows 10 another way. So if you're resourceful, you probably know of a few sites that you can get it from, but you just can't get it from Microsoft anymore. So just wanted to make you aware. And last but not least, let's talk about some freebies and some notable releases. So if you're over on Epic Games, you have access to Adios and Hell is Others, and that's available to download until February 2nd. As far as notable releases, you have the Persona Modern Trilogy that got ported to all platforms, including Game Pass, so now you can play Persona 3, 4, and 5 on any platform of your choice. Same thing for Monster Hunter Rise. It got released January 20th, ported to all platforms, including Game Pass. So if you have that, try it for free. It's definitely worth it. Moving on to the biggest release of January, which is Forspoken. It was released January 24th for PS5 and PC. And I kind of skipped out on this because I didn't like how the demo felt. And I'm trying to save my money for February because there are lots of big releases that's coming out then too. But yeah, definitely give it a try if you haven't yet. It's definitely a conversation piece, but it's either you love it or you hate it. Random release that came out was Hi-Fi Rush on January 25th for Game Pass and PC, and this is from Bethesda. It was a surprise release, a rhythm-based game, and it was crafted with love, and I'm having a blast. I love little random releases like this because you just never see it coming, but definitely give that a try if you have the ability to do so. We also have a random throwback release, which was GoldenEye 007, and it was speculated that this was going to happen at some point with the whole trophy listing release. People thought it was going to be a remake, but right now it's just a port, so you can play that now on Game Pass and Switch with updated controls and an online multiplayer mode. As far as remakes go, we have Dead Space that came out January 27th for PC, Xbox, and PS5. So if you missed out on Dead Space, now's your time to play it. It is known to be one of the scariest games of our generation. So if you did miss out on it, definitely hop on there if you want to scare or just want to play, Dead Space with updated controls and a better visual. You want to go back down memory lane, definitely pick that up. And the last release I want to talk about is Trek to Yomi. So it's a smaller game that really made an impact on Game Pass, and it got recently ported to Switch for a discounted price. So definitely grab that if you haven't got it yet. And now we're all caught up for February, so thank y'all for stopping by. I know I glazed over some things because we did have a bunch of news this month. So if you want to talk more in depth about things, let's definitely drop that in the comments below. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, man. Y'all know how the internet works. I ain't got to tell y'all. And yeah, that was another episode of the Loadout Zone. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.